one in Seattle. Let's kick this off. If you guys don't mind, I'll just get right to it. Is that cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here's my notes. I'll go through them. This is what I remember from last week. I updated CAD of the modular steering rack and saved that to Dropbox. It's under WIKISPEED CAD slash pedal plate slash modular steering rack.
And you've been saving
Then,
format?
no, I just saved it in standard Libre format. Which reminds me, I need to get you an Libre license, Milo. I have a few people to send that to. Then Libre login to those who want, because I think we have 10 licenses. Then I worked with 2 upcoming build party clients, and they both agreed to what I hoped they'd agree to. In fact, they're excited about it, which is to have them build a racing version of the car next. And that simplifies things greatly. Well, one, it's super fun, but we really don't need to worry about suspension, braking, steering, and power. And totally useful stuff like lights and airbags and typical types of seat belts, we can skip. So it's simpler, actually, to make a good race car than it is to make a good commuter car. And there's 2 build parties this year who have now said they prefer to do the race car, which is a big win. I hope that means we can improve the pedal plate for the steering and braking and the suspension this summer by working with those build parties. So I'm really pumped for that. Then I scheduled return delivery of the South by Southwest car to Wynwood, Washington. Milo and Jake would have done all the work, so I'll look forward to hearing from them how that happened or if that happened, but I did schedule it. This is from a few weeks ago, but I just remembered to say it now. I did call and email Johan in San Francisco repeatedly to get any resolution on the chassis from New Zealand that was shipped to San Francisco. And, well, that brings up an impediment. He stopped answering my calls or responding to my emails. So that's where that sits. I did work with the WIKISPEED interns to record WIKISPEED expenses for 2012 to 2014. I did file a WIKISPEED federal business tax extension request, so that's in. I then worked with Joe Chen to set up a business tax filing accountant for WIKISPEED federal taxes. That should make Lauren really happy. I started a WIKISPEED blog entry on launching new Scrum teams, and I did watch the Light Car Challenge winners video. Thanks, Chris Wallace, for sending that around. I removed the then outdated Light Car voting link from the WIKISPEED homepage. I then did briefly send a prioritized backlog for the Wynwood team while I'm traveling. I'm on the East Coast right now, not too far from Rob Horbacher, actually. I then ordered signs for the bathroom at the Wynwood that say restrooms and have the male and female icon to make us just that much more, what do I say? Professional is the wrong word, but people know where to go. And I ordered and received 2 sets of relays for engine module testing, which unblocks the Wynwood shop team. This week, I hope to do a further update of the modular steering rack CAD. I hope to get it ready to machine the next version this week. We'll see if that's possible. And I intend to send the Libre login to those who want it. So as people go through Standup, let me know if you want it. We have 10 licenses. And I hope to make progress on the blog on WIKISPEED on launching a new Scrum team. Hopefully that'll be done soon and we'll attract more traffic to our website. Impediments. Johan no longer answers the phone when I call. And the related impediment is somebody needs to pay $825 by credit card to get the chassis out of customs from San Francisco. Johan agreed to and already has $400 of our money to do it, but he's not answering our calls, so sadly that's just lost money at this point. Then I need to arrange that chassis, even if we got it out of customs, to get it to somebody who can use it. Because the $825 includes getting it out of custom and shipping to Johan's house. but I don't think that's going to be very useful as he's not answering my calls. So I need to get somewhere else if I ever get it out of calls. But for me, absolutely 10 for my ability to interact with the team. The team has been fantastic, primarily Milo, getting to work with him locally, and Chris Wallace solving everything remotely. Um, and my happiness for the team, 10. I'm very happy that there's 2 build parties this summer that align with making a racing version of the car, which should let us make, I hope, rock solid head suspension, braking, and steering, which all work, but they could be better. Process improvement proposal from me is to make this next week National Chris Wallace Appreciation Week and attempt to figure out what we can do to thank this guy. He's a legend. That's what I've got.
I guess I'll go if no one else wants to. Okay, so it's a little weird week for me because I didn't feel like I got anything done, but I realized the reason for that I'm working on several things. I'm kind of acting as the product owner on, so I actually spent a lot of time getting things to ready. So it's a little interesting week for me. So one is I read Jeff Sutherland's paper on distributed Scrum teams. It's kind of a white paper case study. Some very interesting info there. And I also took the PDF of that and posted it on the WIKISPEED um, online board under the info task that's kind of up top there. Let's see. I also researched some storage units in the area to try to quick boot up a local Texas WIKISPEED shop as quickly as possible. I've got a few little minor blocks on that. Trying to find a 24-hour place that's available from the outside that maybe has an electrical plug. Also, one major block is nothing that's going to be available from the outside is going to have climate control, which here in about a month or two in Texas is going to be a real block because nobody's going to show up at a shop with no AC. So I've got to work some things out for that. But let's see. I contacted, I hope I'm getting the name right because I try to do this from memory, but Eric Evanchek about the Cantact board. And he did reply. I basically invited him or asked if there was anything we could do to help with his project and invited him to join the team. He replied, said at this point he's spending a lot of time on fulfillment of orders, not anything we could really help with, and wasn't sure if he would have time to participate in WIKISPEED. So I sent a little follow-up just letting him know if there is anything in the future that comes up, we're definitely willing to help, and if there's anything that we're doing that he finds interesting, definitely jump in and get involved. Let's see, what else? Okay, so I set up, hopefully this will happen maybe tomorrow, but at least by next week. I set up a lunch with my brother, who he's working on his PhD in education, and I wanted to talk with him about some stuff that's kind of a little bit of an old project I kind of let drop off that right now I'm calling the WIKISPEED curriculum, which is something that's maybe we can lean towards EduScrum side. But and the part I'm attacking would be getting the CAD out and available to local schools, wherever people might be, local colleges or schools, whoever wants to do it, really. And he basically the part I'm looking for to him for is how to build like a lesson plan. It's not something I have a whole lot of knowledge in, so maybe that it will help push it along anyway. Let's see. Other than that, I finished the first round of planting in my organic garden. I got all my dirt seasoned and ready and good to go, and got about 20% of the spaces planted. So for next week, something I meant to get to the last 2 weeks, but I'm going to edit the notification that goes out for the weekly stand-ups. I ran across somewhere a previous one that I had never seen that has some information about a little more information about how the Scrum ceremonies work and stand-up etiquette that I just want to add to the existing notification. That should be a real quick, small task that maybe can add some value. And other than that, I'm actually not sure what else I'm going to work on. I plan on choosing at least one task to get to complete done. Right now in my mind, that's probably going to be the FM transmitter testing and tuning. I'm not sure yet, and suggestions are welcome too. Other than that, my only blocks actually will be pretty much removed by if I can get access to that Libre license, because that'll get me into the CAD to start one, getting it into some of this WIKISPEED curriculum, and two, I would love to start transferring these to step files so that more people can have access to them. Are we doing retrospective as a part of this, or are we waiting? We're doing retrospective. I'm gonna go maybe a 7 for me. Um, I don't know, maybe 8, 7 or 8, maybe. And yeah, a 9 or 10 for the team. It's amazing always to see people. I mean, maybe would have given a lower score, but it's awesome to see so many people on the call. So that may bump it up to a 10 for me for how awesome the team is. And I guess that's it for me.
Any process improvement, Chris?
Yeah, so let's see, what did I write down here? Yeah, I don't, not necessarily an actual process improvement. I would just say maybe how could we, as a distributed team, use Carica better? And is anyone interested in the changes I've been trying to make to the various Carica boards to make it more interactive for distributed teams? So it's not really a process improvement as much as maybe opening a discussion for a particular type of process improvement.
All right, so I guess we're up next. All right, so the Cat 5 that we were working on for one that I ran along Joe's house and under the ground and everything, I had that one done. So now we have the one going from there downstairs with a box upstairs and a box downstairs. And then we have a wire going from that box to the computer with the 2 monitors. So now we have a functional Carica server for the 2 monitors. You guys wanted to get that done. We finished up everything but the deck on the shed we tore apart, or rather I tore apart.
So the truck is pretty much loaded
Yeah.
and tied down.
And so the truck's ready to go. So we want to ask Joe if he wants us to take that tomorrow, and then he'll just pay us back for the receipt of however much weight it is, or if you just want us to wait until Saturday or
And that
whatever.
looks like a thumbs up. So,
Okay,
all right.
so we'll take it tomorrow.
So yeah,
If you don't mind, that's very nice of you, and I'll totally pay you back, of course. Awesome.
yeah. So the car showed up the other day.
Yeah, the car showed up. I helped him unload that.
Clearance issues, getting the body on.
Yeah, the gas, as we had foreseen, and with the one piece body, it's no freaking way gonna work. Like, it's impossible. With the 2-piece body, we could have the back half up in the air and then hatched along the bottom side. But with the 1-piece body, it's no way gonna fit. So we just covered it with a tarp. It rained last night. It's a good thing we did. And we did a few other small things. But you got anything?
No. I think other than that, that's about it.
So I guess 8 for ourselves and 9 for the team.
Any both process improvement, guys?
Having the welder weld our frame last week so that tonight we could finish the engine module. I'm an asshole. Yeah, there's nothing really. We're good. Rob should show up pretty soon, so we'll get working on the engine. Peace out.
I can go next. Can you hear me clearly this time? All right.
Yes, sir.
Last week well, because of the axles I received and a few other parts that I had to check the CAD to make sure it was all correct, which wasn't accurate. So I had to read through the CAD a little bit, change a few things, and but I've it's all complete now. It all works, tested, and so I ordered all the remaining parts from McMaster, and I sent the other stuff into for laser cutting. So I should receive that in 2 weeks, and then I'll be able to put everything together. Anyways, I have a picture for demo of the CAD, that the new stuff. So full screen. Let's see, where is it? Can you all see that? Since I can't see you, I need a verbal yes or no.
No, I'm seeing you, which is a very handsome thing to see,
No.
but not the picture.
Okay. I always have this problem, but I know how to fix it. Screen share. Come on. Full screen. Start screen share. There, now we should have. Now it should have. All right. Here's the CAD of it together, of the electric motor and the pulley and the drive shaft, the axle right there, which all I don't have the full body on it and the suspension, but it all connects perfectly. So and clearance issues and has a little bit of play in it, so it should be cool. And here's a breakdown of how this all goes together with the bearings and collars and adapters, all that kind of good stuff. And that's it for that.
The motor's really.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Fade it out. So next week I intend to receive the parts from McMaster and put together what I can, and then wait for the laser cutting to get here, and then I'll be able to weld that stuff together and put it all together. Only thing left will be the batteries, but I'll be able to test it out without batteries. So we'll see what happens. And hopefully Michael will have that prototype open source thingamajig that I can that he can mail to me and I can burn it up. That'd be awesome. But retrospective, I give myself a 9.5 because this was a pain in the ass and a lot of work. And I'll give the team a 10 because there's a lot of people on it today. It seems to be a lot more, and Joe's on too, which makes it exciting, of course.
The,
So,
the electric motor module that you're working on,
yeah,
Robert?
yes.
What's the specs? Voltage, calculated amps, and the rating of the motor.
Right now, it's rewired. I rewired all the stators for more amps, less voltage. Before the wiring was made for a lot of voltage and a lot of amps too, actually. But right now,
72 190 or
what's that?
72 volts, or is it like 190 or?
No, like 220 volts it can handle easily.
No.
And a shitload of amps. Right now, it's not. Right now, it's made to handle a lot of amps, low voltage. So it can handle about, you can put 300 amps through it with a lower voltage, but it won't handle high voltage and a lot of amps.
All right, looking forward to seeing more.
Me too. Okay, I give the team a 10, and I process improvement. I never have one, and I don't have one this time. Who would like to go next? Michael.
Yeah, just trying to find the right button. I've got Windows covering most of the screen here. The last week here, I tested. I'm progressing on testing the open source controller. I actually got a DC motor and the AC motor kind of in the same place. I've got a coupler that looks like it's going to work. I'm still not sure how I'm going to measure the torque, but I'm working on it. I got an older Curtis controller from a go-kart or golf cart running, so I can use it kind of to load up the motor a bit. Unfortunately, I took the Warp 9 off the electric motor module to use for testing the AC controller, but it's not that hard to put back on. And I downloaded the Trigger app that Chris pointed out. My testing isn't going so well. I'm having trouble it seems to use all of its available bandwidth for downloading ads. So I'm having trouble with it, but I will try and see if I can turn off some of the ads anyway. Next week, I'm going to take some video, a few pictures, and post it. And hopefully I will progress on testing the AC controller a little bit more. Retrospective, 5 for me, 9 for the team. And I'm sad to hear that the key WIKISPEED frame has not found a good home as yet. I don't have a process improvement.
With that, I think everyone on the call has gone. Is there anyone on the call with a stand-up who has not yet given it? I see Chris Wallace. Now, if that means there's someone who hasn't given it, or no, or there's nobody left. I don't know. I just saw.
I'm sorry. I think there's no one left.
Oh, who on the stand-up has? Is there anyone who has not yet given their stand-up that would like to? Okay, that actually wraps everything except choosing what the process improvement could be. Here's the suggestion so far. National Chris Wallace Appreciation Sprint, use Carica better, or blank or blank or blank. Or blank, because we also had Jake joining us this sprint. Hey, Jake, welcome. Wonderful to have you there. I hope you guys get a chance to start one of the engine modules tonight. The relays that arrive, there might be enough hardware to actually do it, which would be pretty awesome. And the engine module that just arrived from South by Southwest should be startup well, which is cool. So hopefully that's playable. Jake, super welcome. Sorry I barely got to see you in person, and then I got on a plane all day afternoon. And I'm looking forward to high-fiving you more. Yeah. So our proposed process improvements are National Chris Appreciation Sprint and use Carica better. Who would like to vote, make another proposal, or clarify those? Either one of those, their action.
I'll real quick say that my vote would be towards the Carica improvement side. And also, if we're going to do a National Chris Wallace Sprint Day, maybe we should try to do a fundraiser out of it. And if we can raise like $1 million, I'll cut off my hair and beard right now.
That's amazing. Can't even imagine
I mean,
what you look
just
like with that.
all people have to do is donate. I will shave everything.
Wow, that got even better. I think our reviews on YouTube just went up, Chris. Your host,
I'll say Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace Sprint.
If we do that, Chris Wallace himself even proposed what that would mean. He said make a fundraiser out of it. So if we chose that process improvement, it sounds like the attempt to make it the Chris Wallace Appreciation Week fundraiser. I have no idea what that would look like, but we would try it, which would be hilarious. Awesome. Any other proposed refinements or votes?
I'm good with either one, but if we can make some money at it, let's go for the Chris Wallace week.
I have no idea on it, but it sounds hilarious. That part's guaranteed. Yeah, okay. This was Appreciation Week. It is. So, guys, majority or abstaining in silence. We have a process improvement where for a week, try to do everything responsible in the limited free time and discretionary budget that we have to make Chris Wallace's week better. And that includes attempting to post some sort of fundraiser. I'll propose I'll at least go to Facebook and say WIKISPEED National Chris Wallace Appreciation Week, donate to WIKISPEED here. And I'll just post the finance@wikispeed.com email address, which people can PayPal. So that's no effort at all. I just have to type it. And maybe I can do something even cooler. But everybody, in the limited time you have, please try to do something that will make Chris Wallace's week even cooler, because that's what it is this week. And I do propose that maybe another team member, and we just keep going through with National, and then it's somebody Appreciation Week. And I abstain till at least after this is gone, because I said so. And I invented the concept, so I kind of get to pick, sort of. I made it up. Okay. All in favor, say awesome.
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 Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Chris, I think you may want to set a target before you shave. What did you say? Everything off?
Well, I mean, everything that's visible in public, yeah. I will say,
Posting this on.
yeah, so, yeah.
Going to shave his aspen balls. Donate, WIKISPEED.com.
Well, I would, but it already happened. No, I'm just kidding.
Aspen balls, Chris.
Yeah. Well, I will say, yeah, we actually should set a dollar amount if that was, if that's a thing that would even be possible. I would totally set a dollar amount well below $1 million for it. But also, I would say one thing that would make my life more awesome this week is if everybody goes out to the WIKISPEED online board, checks it out, sees if there's any tasks they're interested in, and even if they just put it into sprint planning, that would be awesome. If one goes to done, that would be fucking amazing. So that would be what would make National Chris Wallace Sprint Day even more awesome for me. And yeah, I'll take suggestions on the dollar amount. It should be more than I have in my bank account.
How about $823, which would get the chassis out of the
So I think are we in general discussion now? Because I already wrote a note down for that. So part of my wanting to boot up a Texas shop is absolutely I will shuffle money around and get that chassis out of limbo. And after I know the cost of getting it shipped to Texas, I would love to get it here to help boot up the shop. I do not want to take if somebody else has a better use for it, absolutely. Let's just pay to get it out and get it to wherever it's best used. But I would love to have access to it if that's a possibility.
I think as part of making Chris happy week, the frame's his.
Seconded. I know I'd love to have it up in Seattle, but I think it will do even more good in a whole other shop because I have some frames to experiment with. I'd love another one. But having one in Texas is probably the coolest.
We did just
Awesome.
miss getting a WIKISPEED thing to Earth Day. I think that's this weekend, but next year I think we can pull it off completely. So maybe that'll help get us towards that. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, that's built in New Zealand. I mean, how cool is that? That's
yeah, absolutely. Oh,
the
the Key WIKISPEED shop, dude. They were making a truck, something that I do live in Texas. We almost have to do obligatory, right? Like, come on.
and then it has to throw a barbecue trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Environmental friendly.
Exactly.
And we only barbecue okra and other low water consumption. Something off. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Also, folks, I would like to say with that process that concludes all essential Scrum meetings. And now it's absolutely the open communication. But if someone needs to go, you can. You can go ahead and jet. That was all the essential communication required to run the company for another week, which is hilarious how quick that is to run a whole company. God, I almost can't believe it. But the folks who want to have general Q&A, now's the right time. And Rob, I'll say I'm totally behind that axle spin. I'm hoping to God that's how it works. That looks so effing cool. I just about cannot wait. Thank you for being awesome. We've been toying with electric engine module options for a long time. Michael Olchek has made enormous headway. Now it looks like the other coast of the United States is making buckets of awesome as well. Thank you, dude. That looks badass.
It'll work.
I previously did not want to interrupt the flow of the stand-up, but yeah, that even just the CAD of that is beautiful. They're like, on top of everything else you can do, Rob, you have beautiful CAD skills.
Hey, well, I went to college for art. Originally.
Rob went to college for doing as I can tell, because every time you take a backlog item, you're like, so I made the circuit board and I didn't have any transistors, so I made them. And I didn't have any capacitors, I made them. And I made better ones than anything that was made before because it needed to be done. And then I made an 8-layer board because I thought that would be cute. But I wanted to automate it, so I then made the machine that would make more. And then I bought a silicon mine so I could make more at lower cost. And then I managed it and sold it $1,000. And that looked like an average sprint for you.
Nah, I'm just waiting for Michael. Michael got the real. He's got the real gym.
Gosh, I hope you're right, and I wish I was as confident as you are.
I'll make up the confidence for you.
Okay. Joe, just a question. You have enough parts to ship suspension modules up to me sometime this year?
I do. I actually.
Uh-oh.
I'll take that as an invitation to ship them.
Your mic cut out there for a second, Joe. So I don't think we got to hear everything you were saying. We heard you say yes, I do, and then nothing else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have them, and they're actually like me to ship them.
Yes, shipping them would be awesome. You have to let me know how much it's going to cost to ship it.
Somewhere along the price of somewhere along the trade of an electric motor module.
I think the electric motor module is going to come in a little bit more than that, but not too much, I hope.
What I meant to say is the development of one. For you to keep it in Canada and continue iterating on it is the coolest thing. And as you think is a stable V1, I want to buy a copy of it from you.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Hey guys, Marlo and I are taking off to get stuff ready for the build party, so we'll see you.
Y'all have been amazingly
Jake,
awesome.
Great to. Yeah, Jake, welcome. Awesome to have you for a little while. Hey, go rock the build party. I'll see you guys this weekend.
Jake, it's nice to meet you. Since you were going to come to Maryland, but you made it all the way out to Washington.
Yes. Well, it seems cold in Washington in the middle of winter.
Really?
So forgive me for avoiding that.
Well, now I have a new place now that actually has heat and rooms and a bathroom now.
Oh wow, that's luxury.
Hey,
also compared to the last one, it feels like it.
Also, Jake, I've crashed out very close to where you're standing because I recognize it. And the trick is no part exposed and do not move. If you move, you're going to get cold. But nothing exposed. Like everything has to be covered and do not move.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll have a good time.
I got my 20-degree bag. I'm good. Yeah. All right, I'll see you guys.
All right.
Awesome. Well, that's my priority.
So, what does everybody want to talk about today?
Real quick, Michael, since you brought it up during your stand-up, that app very well possibly may be unusable. I thought the issues I was having with it on the bandwidth side were because I was using a temporary loaner phone, or not a loaner phone, but an old phone that already had its own issues. So I thought that was getting in the way. If it's unusable, then we need to move on to something else.
Well, it's difficult to use while it's downloading the different advertising.
Right.
Once you've got it set up, I'm not sure, which is why I'm going to continue on for a little bit.
Okay.
And see if I can get it to do what we want. If no one's looking at it, no one cares how many ads it's downloading.
Right, no, exactly. I did see a few performance issues with it, but I really thought it was the phone I was using while my phone was broken, because that phone I was using has what I'd call radio issues. Like it has problems. It periodically can't connect to the cell network or Wi-Fi or anything. Like it just goes blank. So I thought that was the issue. Yeah, if it's just an issue with it being slow on the interface while you're trying to use it while the ads are there, but it doesn't affect the actual streaming, then it would still be usable.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually shopping around for new Android phones, so hopefully this one will be used as a video camera here.
Awesome. Awesome.
Hey, what are those IP cameras? What are those all about? Do you know?
Yeah.
They have kind of like a little website in them.
Well, I'm not. Well, I was looking at the security for my place, and I was looking at different camera systems, and I ran across the IP cameras, and I don't know if it's like I guess you hook it right to the computer and it automatically broadcasts through the web, or
you hook it to your network, not the computer, because it's an IP camera, so you're accessing it over a LAN normally. And yeah, there's a few different ways to deal with it. Like Michael was saying, the interface for the web interface is either built into the camera, or there's a centralized interface that you hook up these IP cameras to.
okay.
They work fine. I mean, it's the other option is like I used to have a card in a computer that multiple physically wired cameras can hook to, or you use something like a little DVR that multiple wired cameras could hook to. And so yeah, the IP cameras have the advantage of some of them. Well, they don't require wiring in some cases because they can either go over Wi-Fi, or even if they do require wiring, they don't require direct wiring back to your DVR. So.
Yeah, that's actually the ones I was looking at, the Wi-Fi ones.
They're usually on the IP cameras are usually on the pricier end of that kind of setup. I mean, if you're just wanting to do security, it's awesome. It's easier to set up. It's neat, but it's pricier. It's pricier. Yeah.
It's the distances between the cameras.
Right.
What I'm just thinking about wireless, get rid of the wires, all that routing stuff.
I've used IP cameras in the past. I have 2 of them here, and they work pretty darn well. What I want to do, and I haven't figured out yet, I'm sure it's doable, is have them cache what's been of motion, so that can be played, so it's not just a live feed. And I'm sure that's solvable, but I haven't solved it yet.
And that's the exact thing I think that Michael is focusing on, and that we're all trying to figure out, is the ability, a dual ability to have motion sensor capture time lapse that's either available to be uploaded somewhere or automatically uploaded, but mainly just some time lapse pictures that are captured by motion sense. Because you don't want it, like Joe was saying, you don't want to just huge recordings to be sent up to some web server. I mean, that's incredibly inefficient. I mean, you're going to get 900 hours of nobody doing anything and a giant web hosting bill.
I'll need that. Well, that's it for me. I guess I'm going to sign off. So.
Okay, guys.
Dude, Rob, you did awesome this week. Thank you.
Thanks. Chris Wallace week. I'm gonna bring a video of me doing a shot.
Awesome. Get some local. Look at some local moonshine. We'll make it a party.
A shot of moonshine, exactly.
Hey guys, I do have a question. Back, maybe even a couple months back, there was a post saying someone made a 3D printed transmission or differential, and maybe it was even on Kickstarter or something. I was super busy at the time, and I didn't dive into it like I wanted to. I was looking for it again recently, and I couldn't find it. Does anybody remember what I'm talking about? And if so, can they point me to it?
It was me that posted it, and it was on Kickstarter. They were unsuccessful. I've still got the guy's contact information, and I told him we would be interested. He really doesn't have a lot of information about how many horsepower it will take or what kind of RPM he's looking at. So he seems to be running a little machine shop. So they're going to do a little bit of playing around with the model that they've got. They figured it was between 3 and 5 horsepower, but the thing was if you put more horsepower through it, it heated up the fluid a bit, and it wore this ceramic ball thing that they were using for transferring torque from the inner shaft to the outer shaft. But he was more in the experimental phase, so I didn't give him the $700 for the transmission.
Okay, it was a $700 transmission, and 3 to 4 horsepower was the idea, but maybe it could do more, but the balls would get hot.
It's an inner wheel and an outer wheel, and they're both kind of grooved, not like a belt or a timing belt, but almost like a conical shape. And the big ball bearing that's not made out of metal that went between them. There was also a transfer fluid that they were using, kind of like a continuously variable transmission. Any of the magic sauce around the transfer of the torque from one to the other. He kind of hinted that depending on a couple of variables, they could make it, a little bit of variance, like maybe start out at 3 to 1 and go to 4 to 1 or something like that. But that didn't sound like it was big enough range to actually bother with it. Single speed is okay. And they normally just run it one direction. We would need it reversing in order to make it work on a car. So he didn't have a ready solution for that one.
Okay.
I will just take a look at the email. You're actually looking for the link?
With the information you just gave, my interest has been tempered.
Okay.
Thank you, which is very useful, right? I'd rather not chase that rabbit hole if it's not going to get us where we want. Thanks, Michael. That's exactly what I was looking for. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was interesting enough that I asked questions anyway.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I mean, it sounds like what we're aiming for, just not quite very enough. Okay,
yeah, there was definitely optimizations to be made on the weight of that sucker.
Okay, opportunity there. How much did it weigh?
With the parts that he was quoting, it over 100 pounds is what it sounded like. You can get commercial transmissions for that. Pardon me?
Word concrete? I mean, how does it handle 3 to 4? Okay, anyway. All right. That's all I've got. Is there any cross communication that should involve me? I'll see you guys next week. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to follow up on the backlog that I just committed myself to. National Chris Wallace Week, sending a Libre license, getting suspension shipped to Michael Olchek, etc. Thanks, guys. Have amazing weeks.
And the Libre license, okay, I guess he's got it.
It's fine. Yeah. I'll shoot him a follow-up email. I think he did catch that too. But
okay.
I did have one more thing.
I added a Libre license. I don't know if I still do. It's been a while since I tried it. So.
Then you don't, because it was. If it wasn't within the last few months, I think they redid how they were doing the licenses completely.
Okay.
Which we have 10 of, which I think only very few are used. I mean, I think even after everybody that asked for one, we'll probably still have half of them left. So.
Okay.
And my only other thing, and actually, I was going to ask Joe about this, but because since he's on the East Coast, it wouldn't help at all anyway. But I need to get he did mention that Car 7 is back in the shop there, and Milo and Jake are in the shop. I need to see if I got Milo's contact information, because I know that I forgot to mention in my backlog that I posted on the shop the accelerator extension. And
Right, yeah, you need a picture.
Right, I need a picture, and since it just showed back up there, maybe I can get with them. But not super high priority. It's posted. It just doesn't have a picture. But I'll follow up with Milo. I think I have his contact information. So.
Okay.
All right. Hey, thanks, Michael, and thanks to everybody else that is gone now, but showed up for the call. Appreciate it.
Okay, we will talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, man.